Find other great podcasts like this one at podmoth.network.
Hey, Twisted listeners, I'm Cindy.
And I'm Diva, and we are the Twisted Listeners, a weekly podcast about murder and lists.
Each week, we cover 10 cases that all fall under a specific topic, which we also choose weekly. Past topics have included family annihilators, murderous moms, mysterious and spooky deaths, online predators, and other truly twisted topics.
We cover many well-known cases, but we also love to sprinkle in some lesser-known murders, so there's always something new and surprising in every episode.
So, if you love lists and true crime as much as we do, then we're the podcast for you. Join us for some twisted tales and interesting topics every week. And remember,
stay
off our
lists.
This podcast contains strong language and adult situations and may not be suitable for those who are easily offended. Welcome to the Fuck My Work Life podcast, where the work stories are real, the laughs are contagious, and most of us can agree that work sucks. So let's clock out and tune in.
Welcome back, fuckers. Welcome back, fuckers, to the Fuck My Work Life shorts.
Shorts?
Yeah, this is a little one, right?
The shorty. You like to call it the shorty?
The shorts. Yeah, what is that? Is that Instagram that does the shorts? It's like the little tiny videos.
No, they have stories and reels on Instagram.
Oh, maybe it's YouTube.
Maybe.
I don't know.
But this is our coffee break after the episode.
Oh, yeah. Coffee break.
It's a shorty.
Welcome back, fuckers, to the coffee break. Fuck my eye, fuck that up.
Fuck my eye, fuck that up. That's staying in. Welcome, everybody. It's another episode of our coffee break. Just a little short, fun one to keep you going.
Entertained
through your work day. And, excuse me, I guess before we get into our topic of discussion today, we haven't done a We Drink Because We Work yet, have we?
No. No.
This season?
No, not yet.
I mean, we did, but we were drinking water because we recorded during dry January.
Yeah.
So anyway, we drink
because we work.
That's right. It's season 5. Are you turning over any new leaves with your drinking choices this season, Jay?
Yeah. I didn't drink in January.
That's not what I mean.
Oh.
What are you drinking?
Coors Latte.
Yeah.
Yeah, Coors Light.
It's Coors. I was going to make myself a fancy drink, and then I said, fuck it, I'm also having a Coors. It's just easier. I didn't want to get out the shaker and the
I was going to go to
and...
the store, but I said, fuck it, I'll have chicken nuggets.
Chicken nuggets. So I'm also drinking Coors. If you guys want to share what you are drinking to get you through the work week, you can hashtag We Drink Because We Work.
Hashtag. Hashtag. We drink because we work.
And tag FMWL pod. So we see it.
Oh, yeah, brother.
Jay's on a good one today.
I've probably been huffing too much paint in the garage.
Oh, yeah.
And this is like the epoxy paint, so it's fucking strong.
You have a breather mask, don't you?
And I wear it.
Oh, yeah. You still get a little loopy?
No, I'm not loopy. I'm just...
You kind of smell like paint.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure I do.
You smell a little painty. Maybe I'll get a contact eye sitting next to you.
My clothes don't have a breather. And
yeah.
All I did was take my sweatshirt off.
You need like one of those paint suits.
I do. I was looking at them when I was at the
hazmats.
paint shop today, but no.
Are they expensive?
Well, you can get for like $30, you can get one you use once and throw away. And for like, I don't know, like $60 or $70, you can get one that is reusable. Times. But am I going to wash it? Or like, what's the fucking point?
Are you going to continue just ruining all your clothes with paint?
No, I'm just going to continue ruining the same clothes.
Your nice jeans?
These are not nice jeans.
No?
No.
They look nice.
I can't fucking stand them.
Oh.
Because
they're wearing them?
Yeah, they're elasticy.
Oh.
They're like
stretchy.
those stretchy jeans. And
that's hip, man.
when I'm in the garage, I don't mind because my mind is on other things, but I've worn them to work before. And
all you can think about is your stretchy jeans.
Every time I stand up, I'm like, fuck. They're stretchy. So even if I put a belt on, like my undershirt comes untucked all the time. And it's just fucking annoying.
People, let me tell you about my tight pants. I've got my
They're not tight.
I've got my tight pants on. No, I can picture you wearing tight pants.
No.
I would.
That won't happen.
I don't know what I would do. So any hoozle. Drink.
Any hoozle, no tight pants for Jay.
No tight pants for Jay. I like a good loose fit on my dudes.
Yeah.
My dudes.
I don't see how people do it. Where do your balls go? Where does everything go?
Hey, if we have any listeners that like to wear tight pants, tell us where your balls go.
Where do your balls go?
Where do your balls?
Maybe Bob, big balls, Bob.
Yeah, Bob with the big balls.
Big balls, Bob.
He probably was not a tight pants wearer. Or it was like where you could like see the entire package through the pants.
Yeah.
Yeah. And on that note, our topic of discussion for today, I guess there will be some discussion, is weird things either your boss or that you've just been asked to do at work. Like kind of outside of your regular duties. Have you ever been asked to do something strange at a job?
Yeah, but I was on lunch. I've been holding this story for a while.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You have one?
Yeah, I got a story.
All right, let's hear it.
I think I've talked about Dave, not the Dave you know or knew or whatever.
Yeah.
But the Dave I worked with at Goodyear when I was a mechanic at Goodyear in Las Vegas. I will preface this with he was a tweaker.
Okay.
And we used to go to Carl's Jr., which was like not that far away from work. It was just down the block a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So we would go to Carl's Jr. every day for work. And that's where my love of the Western bacon cheeseburger began.
Torrid love affair you have with the Western bacon cheeseburger.
So when we would go in the parking lot, it was like a kind of like a strip mall, but not really a strip mall. But there was a car audio place. And if you know tweakers, they love them some car audio.
Okay. Why?
All
the moving parts and stuff that they can take apart.
Electronics.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Okay.
If you've known any tweakers that are like good with their hands, like me, but I'm not a tweaker, they want to take shit apart.
Right. Or dig large holes in the front yard.
Yes. So we would go to Carl's Jr. and we would go in and eat because we got an hour for lunch. We would go in and eat and we'd sit down and he would scarf his fucking food so fast.
Mm-hmm.
And then he'd be like, I'm going to take off. And I knew.
You had to go do some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at the car audio place, there were, there's dumpsters where you throw your trash and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a specific dumpster for like old electronics because that had to be disposed of.
Recycling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So car audio places often get stuff shipped to them and shit's broken. Or it's like not okay for them, not broken, but not okay for them to sell because it's damaged, but it still works. So he would go dumpster dive for the rest of his lunch.
Oh, okay. And so he wasn't actually going and doing drugs. He was just
I'm sure he was probably fucking smoking
before
his
the
pipe.
dumpster diving.
Yeah, I'm sure he was probably doing it while he was dumpster diving.
Yeah.
Who knows? But he would go dumpster diving and he would come back every fucking time we would go to Carl's Jr. He would come back with like a pirate with a booty.
A booty.
You know?
Arr.
And his car his car, he had one of those. He had a Bronco 2. So you have the big Ford Broncos, and then you had the little the little Bronco 2s, which were like the predecessor to the Explorer.
Were Explorers smaller than the Broncos?
Yeah.
I thought Explorers were like huge. Maybe
Well,
I'm thinking Expeditions.
Yeah. So they still make the Explorer. When this happened, it was in the early to mid 2000s, but the Bronco 2s came out in like the 80s, 90s.
Okay.
So
it was an older car.
It was an older car. But there was probably, I don't know, I'll just take a fucking good, what do they call it? A good college guess and say there was like 25 speakers in his car.
The old college try.
And I don't mean the ones he got from, I mean, he got them all from dumpster diving, but these were hooked up. Like he had fucking speakers everywhere in his car, everywhere.
All right.
And this is what he would dumpster dive for because he might get a new speaker or he might get a new amp or he might get a new this or, you know, and I just thought that was, the weird thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
The weird thing he asked you to do.
Yeah.
That's why I was looking at you like that.
Well, the first time we went, he asked me to
dumpster dive,
hop dumpster dive with him, like hop in the dumpster with him and go through shit. And I was like, no, dude,
no,
I'm not fucking doing that.
Yeah.
Like
this was your boss, right?
No.
Oh,
this was just a coworker.
Yeah.
So it wasn't something I got asked to do at work, but like I said, it was while I was on lunch.
Right. I think I've talked about being asked to, well, actually, I wasn't even asked. I was just expected to wash one of my boss's like breast pumps from her pumping her breast milk. She would just throw them in like the common sink and just expect me to clean them because like part of my job was like cleaning up the kitchen area. So that was always fun. And I absolutely refused to do it. Like, I'm not touching that shit. And eventually, like at the end of the day, she would just do it because she knew I wasn't going to.
That's fucking nuts.
I had to sell one of my boss's like stuff on his personal eBay, like shit that he just wanted to get rid of at his house, like which was absolutely not in my job description. Yeah. Pick up his dog from the vet, stuff like shit like that, where, you know, nowadays I probably would be like, that's way out of the realm of my job.
Yeah.
But back then, you know, this is my first like real executive assistant job. And executive assistant, not personal assistant. There's a fucking difference.
Oh, yeah.
And they just treated me like their personal assistant. Like they were all very pleasant people, but it was just kind of ridiculous.
I can't imagine like someone asking you to clean their fucking breast pump. That would. What if it was a dude and it was his like fleshlight?
Can you clean up my jizz, please? Yeah, it was definitely. She was a nice lady, but her expectations were a little ridiculous. I also when she came back from her maternity leave, I had to like find, because all of the offices in the office were glass. So the walls were glass, the doors were glass. You could see everyone in their office. And I had to find and install like frosted shit to put on her glasses so she could pump in her office and stuff. Like just a lot of things. This is also the one I know I've talked about it on the podcast before, where the fax machine was right by her office. And I was on the other side of the building and she would walk right past the fax machine to bring me a piece of paper to follow her back to fax that piece of paper right next to her.
Nice.
So there was definitely a power trip happening there.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this is your job. This is what you do, when she could have easily just popped it in and be done with it in way less time. Not a weird ask, just a weird mentality.
Yeah.
So I found an article on businessinsider.com, and we'll link it in the show notes, written by Anne Kane? Anne Kane? Ian Kane? I don't know. It's AINE Kane. But it's the 45 of the weirdest things bosses have asked their employees to do. Now, we're not going to read all 45. I went through and picked out
the best ones.
A good random smattering of them. So we're going to go through and read some of those. All right. My boss asked me to watch the OJ trial and explain it to her. Now, kids, if you don't know what the OJ trial is, Google it. I was living in Germany and she thought that, as a Canadian, I might have a better insight into the whole mindset. She paid me my full wage to sit with her and explain the reasons behind the trial, the chase, and just about everything OJ. Easiest job ever. I was so sad to see the trail end and I had to go back. Oh, they said trail, but I think it's trial. I was so sad to see the trial end and I had to go back to my regular job. That would be cool. I'd be down for that.
The next one is short but sweet. My boss asked me to make sure her spray tan was even.
Oh.
Are they ever even?
They can be. Yeah. Depends on if you exfoliate well enough beforehand. Another one is my boss asked a coworker to fill out adoption papers for her.
Wow.
That's
that kid's in a good place now.
I wish these people said like what they did, right? Like this is like a fast food worker or something.
Yeah.
To fill out adoption papers.
My former boss asked me to urgently locate a company that could print giant canvas-sized prints of his face.
Was it Trump?
They were needed for a party, apparently. He also needed 2 gold thrones. After the party, the giant prints of my boss's face were put up in our tiny office. We used to turn them upside down if we were annoyed at him. It was beautiful.
The best canvas paintings
office ever. Best ever.
Gross. That's frightening how well you do that. My boss asked me to buy dresses during work hours for his mistress, while using his car to go around from store to store until I found the model and size he wanted.
My boss asked if I wanted to get a happy ending massage together on a business trip.
Ew, no.
There you go.
Although I feel like there's people that we used to work with that would do weird shit
like
that.
This person said yes.
Oh, yeah. He's like, so weird, but yeah, let's go. My boss asked me to go buy a pipe for her to smoke her weed out of because she had a party she was going to later that night. Again, I would love to know what kind of job this is.
My boss asked me to double stick tape her shirt to her boobs. I'm a woman, but it was still awkward in every way.
Hey, I just finished pumping my breast milk. Can you tape my boobs to my shirt, please?
Do I have leakage?
All right, this is a little bit longer. In 2008, I was required. In 2008, I was required to get a summer co-op as part of my business degree. Obviously, finance jobs were tight at that time, so in order to meet my co-op requirements and graduate, I, along with other classmates, were jumping at every approved co-op job possible. Somehow, a hazardous material cleanup company found their way into the approved employers. One day, I walk into work, the office was in the basement of their home, to find a few large boxes on my desk. I naturally open up the boxes with a box cutter and find a bag of white powder inside.
Yeah.
At this point, I ask my boss what is in the boxes I've just opened, and they start screaming to leave the room. Apparently, they had been cleaning out a recently abandoned gold mine and had come across a few cardboard boxes full of sodium cyanide.
Fuck yeah!
Jesus. Apparently, it is used to extract gold in the mining process, but it is also extremely toxic. Yeah, no shit. Isn't that what they used in Georgetown? Georgetown? Is that the name of it? No, not Georgetown. What am I thinking of?
Jim Jones?
Yeah.
Jamestown?
Jamestown? No, that was also a settlement, wasn't it? What was it? It was something down.
I think it was Jamestown.
Really?
Jim Jones. Yeah, his name was James.
I know, but wasn't Jamestown also like a...
Listeners, please clue us in.
I should know this.
Because we are fucked.
Yeah, I feel stupid today.
But yes, it was cyanide in Kool-Aid.
It was actually Flavor Aid.
Okay.
Fun fact.
Same shit.
Blah, 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 blah. Extremely toxic. I had just opened a box with a box cutter and nearly sliced into the plastic bag of a toxic chemical. The boss then told me that they had put it on my desk because they wanted to find a purchaser for the multiple boxes of cyanide that were sitting on my desk. I spent the next month cold calling different companies, asking them if they wanted to buy multiple boxes of cyanide. All of this because of what was happening with the housing market. Thanks, Lehman Brothers. You almost cost me my life.
Hey, Walmart. You want some
You want some
cyanide?
Hey, I found this guy, Jim. He said he'd take it.
Yeah. I had a boss ask me to park his car in an underground city car park. It was a very tight space, and his car was missing the driver's side mirror.
Was that because of your parking skills?
I have no idea.
That reminds me too, that same company that I was just talking about with the breast pump. So it was a venture capital company, and all of the bigwigs had lots and lots and lots of money. So they had very nice cars. In our parking garage, our spots for our office, there were like 2 tandem spots. So, one guy would pull in his fucking classic Mercedes. The next guy would pull in behind him in his Porsche. Then the other guy with his other fucking expensive car would pull in. And then they'd decide that they'd want to go to lunch. And they'd make me go move the cars around.
Jockey cars.
And this was a small garage. And I don't know how old, 25, trying to move these very, very expensive cars. And Porsches I know how to drive stick shift, but I could never get this fucking Porsche in reverse because it was in a weird spot.
Yeah.
And oh God.
It was to the left and up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was so extreme anxiety every time that happened. I'm like,
I know you'll never run into this again, but just so you know, for Porsches and BMWs and the German stick shift cars, you push to the left, you push down, and it goes further to the left and then up.
Yeah. I finally got the hang of it.
Jay knows his cars.
Yeah. It took a while. I finally got the hang of it, but it was still terrifying.
Yeah.
Because we were
wasn't that after your cataract surgery? So
no, this was
your
before.
driving was shit.
I think
it was before?
But it was also right up against a huge concrete wall. So
yeah,
if you misguide or misstep, you're fucking scraping up the side of their mirror. It was terrifying. But anyway,
it's terrifying.
It was so terrifying. I was so scared. I had to check in at a hotel near the office for a client because his mistress was coming to town and he didn't want his name to be on record. You fucking dirty dog.
My boss asked me to reschedule my long lead time colon surgeon appointment as it inconvenienced him. I was bleeding at the time.
Oh.
He didn't care.
Ew. Gross. He's just bleeding out. No, you gotta work. My boss, a school principal, asked me and a couple of other teachers to lie for him during an evaluation from his superiors. He was a married man and was having an affair with one of our married educational assistants. They spent many afternoons in a hotel room, leaving her position unfilled and being very open about their affair. She was fired. He was transferred to a small school as a part-time principal. Why didn't he get fired? Motherfucker. Everyone should have been fired.
Go up on the roof of the building and help the janitor saw off the cage around the HVAC unit. I work in IT as a computer tech support analyst.
See, I like that one because he's like, this is what I do. This is way out of the scope of my job.
Also, I am missing 2 fingers now.
I was asked to take my boss's urine sample to the lab for testing. Fuck no.
Yeah.
Eat all the dicks.
My boss asked me to run to the drugstore and buy him toenail clippers.
Gross.
Thankfully, he didn't ask me to do the clipping. He also suffered from diverticulitis. Diverticulitis. That's a big word.
Yeah. My brother has that.
During really bad attacks, he could only eat Jell-O. He had me go to a self-serve market, buy Jell-O with fruit salad, and because we paid by weight, he had me remove the fruit before paying for it.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That is next level shit.
Okay, what is diverticulitis?
Diverticulitis. It's something like pockets in your stomach lining. So shit can get stuck in there and get infected and something like that. I don't know for sure, but it's something along those lines. I know my brother couldn't eat red meat for a really long time because that happened to be the things that would get stuck and yeah.
Ew.
Yeah, gross. My boss asked me to scrape gum off the sidewalk out in front of our building with a butter knife.
Your boss was a fucking piece of shit.
Nope. So that's it for that article. Again, we will link that in the show notes, but we also asked the same question on Twitter and Reddit. So here are some of those responses that we got from that. So on Twitter, Meeples and Wine said, I'm going to need you to stay till the HVAC repair guy shows up and fixes the compressor. Closed at 11. He showed up at 1, worked on it until 3, and I was back at work at 7. That sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's... oof.
The Chris and Christine show said their boss asked them to show up.
No, fucking bastards.
Sons of bitches.
I hate it when they ask that. And then our friend Dustin from Dustin Can Read and Watch and the Rewatch Recap, which the airing of this episode is the same week, the last episode of the rewatching and recapping of My So-Called Life, which I co-hosted with Dustin on recapping that entire series, came out this week. So go listen to that.
Hashtag shameless plug, plug.
We had a lot of fun doing it. And we've been doing funny little parodies each week for the episode too. So go check that out. But Dustin said, on my first day working at a drugstore, a local chain but similar setup as CVS or Walgreens, myself and another guy were asked to climb into the trash bin out back and jump on the trash because they didn't want to pay extra for it overflowing. It was more gross than weird. Ew, yeah.
This one comes from Everyone Dies in Sunderland. Competitive sprout eating as we'd invite the press for a heartwarming pre-Christmas photo shoot, but no one wanted to take part. One with what turned out to be an unofficial world record for sprouts eaten in a minute. I also had to run out to buy a secondhand football jersey at short notice when we told the press staff were allowed to wear England kit to work during a daytime World Cup match. But no one did.
Sounds like you work in an office full of non-participators. So thank you for everyone that responded on Twitter. And now we're going to get to the Reddit responses.
So our first Reddit response comes to us from Jasabo, J-S-A-B-O. Worked for a ticketing company. A potential client asked us to write a hidden button into our software so he could lie to the fire marshal about how many people were in the nightclub. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that sounds legit. The Dinosaur Diaries said, falsified documents. I was told if I didn't do it, I'd be fired. Bye! Rose's Spindle said, I work for a tiny graphic design marketing studio. Not long after I started working there, we had a client who decided that he wanted to run for president. Because if Trump could do it, then why not him as well? Note that this guy was a banker with no political experience, fame, or notoriety to speak of. He wanted us to run his campaign for him while he did nothing to promote himself. Obtain the relevant paperwork that needed to be filled out, come up with his platform, create his very own entry on Wikipedia that immediately got nuked by the admins, by the way, build a campaign website, etc. And the owner told us to smile, nod, and do everything the client asked because he was paying us. Mostly, he was just paying the owner.
Damn. That sounds like an episode from Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
Imagine Dragon D's sent us, come in every day of the week. The nerve of those people.
Fuckers. Not His Buttercup said, wipe black mold off the drink machine. I was a restaurant server. Got to go home early that day. That was my prize. And Vaporeon or Vaporeon, whatever, responded with, at Chipotle, if you had to clean up someone's vomit or other fluids, you would be forced to go home. But you had to shower and come back and finish your shift.
Oh, eat shit.
Yeah. Sorry, my car died when I got home.
If I get home in the middle of the workday,
not coming back.
I'm not leaving. Nico Creations says, customer who wants me to take the sales tax off their order. Customer who insists I'm capable of taking the bank's $3.50 service fee off our ATM. Customer wanted me to delete his whole purchase profile so the government couldn't see what he got. Oh, and the one time a customer asked me if he could have his cocaine back after he dropped it out of his sleeve while handing me his payment.
Yeah, buddy.
After I gave it to a manager because I work in a place with a lot of cameras and I don't need that shit.
Yeah.
Customer once asked if he could bring a microscope into my store and look at all our product. That was a fun one. I did ask my manager just in case. Still no. Oh, and my favorite? Can't I just keep the store open for them? They'll be here in half an hour and they really want to look around.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, no.
Yes, you are the most important person in the world and to me, so I'm going to put my life on hold so you can come and fucking probably look around forever.
Yeah. And then our last one came from Frosty AD 8698. They got asked to freestyle dance on the spot.
I mean, that kind of sounds like fun.
For you.
Oh, yeah, you'd probably lose your shit. You don't dance.
I don't.
Thank you, everyone, for your responses to those. If you want to get involved in the conversation and chime in when we have other topics, be sure you're following us on Twitter and Instagram at FMWL Pod. I think our subreddit is Fuck My Work Life or FK My Work Life or something like that. The links is in the show notes, so you can follow us there. You can join our Patreon for special things. We do shit on TikTok sometimes. Make sure you are checking out other Podmoth Network
podcasts.
Yes. That's also linked in our show notes. I think that's everything.
I think it is.
So I hope you guys enjoyed your coffee break, and we'll see you next week. Bye, fuckers.
Bye, fuckers.
Thank you for listening to the Fuck My Work Life podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please follow, subscribe, rate, review, and tell your friends. Send your workplace stories to fmwlpod@gmail.com or call our rant line at 310-818-3273 for a chance to be featured on a future episode. For more fun, follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at FMWL Pod. You can also join our Discord community to chat with us and your fellow fuckers. We've got a Patreon where for $5 a month, you get early access to episodes, bonus content, and more. Grab yourself a t-shirt, pint glass, or yoga mat in our merch shop. All links can be found in the show notes. The Fuck My Work Life theme song is by Big Foss of the Chat Smash podcast. Remember, don't let the man get you down. Bye, fuckers. Excuse me.
There you go.